Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Twiggy. Today I am going to tell you a little story about my life. These are probably some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube, just little like story time videos. So I've kind of, been thinking about stories that I could compile from my crazier years of life and make into a video. So this is going to be a story about the time I was on drill team. Now, most people look at me and don't typically think school spirit, but I was very into cheerleading and tumbling and gymnastics and dance and stuff like that when I was a little small baby child. And so ever since then, I always wanted to do something with that. I decided I was gonna try out for cheerleading, as many of my friends did this year. This was the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade, so I was about to go into 7th grade. And let me just tell you a little bit of background on how my school personally at the time did drill team and cheerleading. My school had everything kind of cleverly arranged where they did cheerleading tryouts first, and if you didn't make the cheerleading squad, then you could go and try out for drill team. Now, since maybe this is obvious, maybe it's not. Since I didn't make cheerleading, I decided, okay, fine, I guess I'll try out for drill team like almost every girl at my school did when they didn't make cheerleading. That being said, there are the girls in schools out there that do take drill team kind of more seriously and hold it on a higher level than my school did. This is just speaking from my personal own experience. My school kind of didn't take it that seriously. It was kind of just something girls did because they maybe couldn't make cheerleading. Maybe some of the girls on there genuinely wanted to be on the drill team, but once again, I'm just speaking from my personal experience. So drill team tryouts were pretty similar to cheerleading tryouts. They teach you a routine that you have to kind of perform with a little group. I think it's actually just like part of a routine that you learn, and then you go in front of the judges and perform it. But unlike cheerleading, drill team didn't have a set number of girls that were able to make the team. It was like if you made it, you made it. But with cheerleading, it was like we're only picking 12 girls. If you don't make it, too bad, so sad. I tried out and I don't remember it being too labor intensive. I think the thing I really hated the most about it was you had to wear your hair in this high little bun on top of your head, and I had like straightforward bangs at the time, so I had to literally slick them back with hairspray, and wow, it was gross. Like super crunchy, nasty, gross, dirty hair. So once you made the drill team, if you did make it, which most girls kind of did, if you did make the drill team, you moved on to kind of like dance camp for the summer. And before I get too into that whole tangent, I would like to point out drill team was something, as well as cheerleading, was that you had to pay for. So I can't honestly remember how much my parents had to pay for it, but I know it was over $1,000 for me to be in drill team, which I just think is like kind of outrageous. I mean, I understand, some fee because we got like 6 different shirts that we had to wear, and you have to buy the jazz shoes and the jazz pants and this, that, and the other. I understand that part, but it just seemed outrageous that we were paying to be in this organization that was working us so hard. So let me get to the dance camp part. So drill team camp essentially is where you go and learn all the dances that you'll be doing throughout the year with your school. So I was about to be a 7th grader, keep in mind, so I was probably like 12, 13, maybe even 11 around this time span. I was pretty young. This is before everyone ever had a cell phone. So we go to dance camp, and it is I believe 2 nights, 3 days. We stay at a hotel, and it's a bunch of different schools are there. So you come downstairs in the morning to like the ballroom, and everybody is split up into different groups. You're with kids from different schools, and you have like a main like person teaching you a certain dance. And I believe in total I learned 4 dances over the time span of 3 days, which really doesn't sound too bad. But the hours that we slept were pretty much close to nothing that week. Basically, we woke up at, well, if you wanted to eat, you had to wake up at like 5:30, which I'll skip breakfast to get some more sleep, that's fine. So we had to be downstairs ready to go at 6 o'clock, and practice didn't start until 7 a.m., but my drill team instructor was an evil witch. We will get to that later, but she was awful, and she made us come an hour early to like stretch and practice and warm up. Totally ridiculous. So then from 7 to about 11, we danced nonstop with our instructors and learned the dance and whatever. And then we had an hour for lunch, so 11 to 12 we had a lunch break, which was provided for by the hotel. Awesome, cool. And then from, I want to say like 12 to 6 we continued to dance nonstop, and then 6 from 7 we had a dinner break. And then you were essentially released to, you know, go get some rest, take a shower, get some sleep, eat food, eat snacks, hang out with your girlfriends in your room, whatever. But that wasn't the case for my school. My drill instructor kept us up all night long practicing. We were literally up every single night until about 2 a.m. running the dances over and over and over and over and over for her, just to be woken up at 6 a.m. the next morning. So there was no showers taken, there was no gossip, gal pal fun bonding time in our rooms or anything of that nature, because we were so physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted. We just went up to our rooms and completely passed out and said the hell with it. Needless to say, the bus ride home from camp was the quietest I have ever heard a group of like 35 girls be, because we were all dead asleep on the bus because, yeah, just exhaustion out the butt. Also, I do want to add that we weren't allowed to call our parents in this time span. That didn't seem too strange to me at the time, but now in hindsight, looking back, that seems really strange that we weren't allowed to contact our parents. Like, maybe our drill instructor didn't want our parents to know that she was keeping us up all night, or that we were actually so physically exhausted we weren't even hungry at dinner, and this, that, and the other. I really can't figure out what that reasoning really could have been, but I just remember when I came home from drill team camp, I slept for like 2 straight days, just good night, lights out, bye. I guess that kind of brings me to my point of, I had a really bad drill team instructor. She was really, really rude. She was a major bitch with a capital B. She was really rude. She never gave us any kind of positive feedback ever. It was all, you did this wrong, y'all did this wrong, you were off on that 8 count, this was messed up, your arms need to be straight, this is drill team. And I was just like, really? Is this drill team? Is this boot camp? Do I have to shave my head soon? What is going on? Not the most pleasant instructor I've ever come across in my life. So we practice all throughout the year, all throughout the summer, and then we get into football season when school comes back. So that's actually the time where we're, you know, doing like halftime performances on the field. We're actually performing in our uniforms, this, that, and the other. So that was kind of fun. That was always like a cool feeling to be up in the bleachers and be like, I don't know, I don't want to say like one of the cool kids for once in my life, but like part of a crowd for once in my life. So that was always kind of a nice feeling. But without fail, after every single football performance that we gave, we had a little water break after that where we could go get snacks or talk to our parents or whatever. Before that happened, our drill team instructor would just ring us out. She would be like, this was messed up. Oh my God, y'all were so embarrassing. I cannot believe, Katie, you missed your mark again. You need to be on the 50-yard line. Like just everything we did wrong. Not like, oh, great job. Even our first performance, she just totally ripped us apart, and we never got any kind of positive feedback from her. So then, you know, we'd meet up with our parents and they were like, oh my God, you girls did so good. I can't believe it. Like, you look like little professional athletes out there. Good job. You did so great. And I'm just like, really? We just had our asses torn into. Why aren't these stories matching up at all? Maybe my instructor's crazy. So I started to kind of feel just really discouraged being on the team because our instructor just was really, really negative and bad to us. Not to mention, I had like the most demerits out of anyone on drill team, not to brag. Demerits are basically like write-ups, I guess. And for every demerit you get, you had to do 50 high kicks. So I was like the high kicking queen because I had so many demerits all the time. It was just, So I guess that brings me to my next point, which is where I decided to quit drill team. I've always felt very in control of every situation I'm in. I've never felt like I have to stay in drill team. You know, my parents paid for this. I have to do this. I wish I was a little more respectful of my parents' money back then, but unfortunately I was like, you know what? I hate this. I don't get anything out of it. I really don't like it. I didn't like my team captain. For those of you who don't know, drill teams are split up into like smaller teams, and within those teams you have like a team captain. That way it's easier to teach dances and things like that. It's usually a senior dancer that's above you in some way. But anyways, I didn't like my team captain. I didn't like the drill team instructor. I wasn't having fun with it. Every day was a nightmare. I was worn out. I just was super tired of it. I got demerits all the time for having a bad attitude, and I was like, so hard to have a good attitude with this environment. So one day I remember very distinctly during drill team practice, you know, we're sitting in our lines and whatever, and my coach had called me out on something for like the 100th time, and it's just something very, very minuscule, not something that actually really mattered. But she, to be kind of fair, she did pick on a lot of us. She didn't solely pick on me, but that still doesn't make me feel any better. So she was on one of her tangents one day, and I can't remember what exactly she asked me to do, but she had asked me to do something. And I just remember looking at her straight in the face and saying, no, you know what? I quit. Fuck you. And walking out of the room. Just like that. Just all the sass in the world. This was during school hours. We were still practicing, so I knew all the principals were on campus and stuff, and I knew I was probably more than likely going to get written up for saying fuck you to a teacher. So I just walked out of the room straight to the principal's office. I sat down in one of the chairs outside of the principal's office and waited for her to call me in and told her exactly what I had just done. But that was a very liberating moment in my life. I was very, very happy to be off the drill team. I was so glad to quit. I was glad I quit on my own terms. And keep in mind, I was like 12 years old at the time, so I felt very like cool telling a teacher to F off when I wanted to tell her so many times. I felt very accomplished in that moment, even as silly as it sounds. Moral of the story is I would not do it again. I don't think it was worth my parents' money. I don't think it was worth my efforts or attention span or any of my time, really. I'm not saying it's wrong for everybody. I'm just saying I had a really, really bad, nasty drill team director, and that can really make a world of difference. I mean, kind of in like working environments, your boss can really be everything sometimes. It really can be a truly make or break situation, no matter how good of an attitude you have. So yeah, that's kind of my story. I guess I decided to tell that one because I don't think very many people know I was ever on like a drill team or ever even decided to try out for cheerleading. Most people just don't really guess that about me, so I thought it would be kind of interesting to share with you guys. But yeah, that's about it. If you like storytime videos, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because I will be doing more in the future because I have a lot of stories. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. It truly, seriously, honestly, 100% makes my entire day when you watch my videos. If you want, you can subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every single week as long as I still have internet. Long story. But I hope you guys have a good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.